Exposed: How a struggling girl's 5 minutes with a millionaire CEO transformed her life forever. Lily stood at the edge of the bustling community center, her heart thrumming in her chest. Excitement crackled through the air as townsfolk mingled, laughter spilling from every corner. Yet, in the shadows of the effervescent atmosphere, she felt small like a pebble lost among polished gems. Just a 16-year-old girl with dreams too big for this sleepy town. As she watched the glittering crowd around Mark, the self-made millionaire CEO, anticipation mixed with dread. Could a quick chat truly change her life? That opportunity arrived like a lightning bolt. Caught off guard, Lily found herself face to face with Mark. His eyes sparkled with genuine warmth, his presence commanding yet approachable. In those fleeting moments, she poured her heart out to him about an arts program she envisioned for local youth, hoping it would give them a space to dream and grow. Yet every word dropped into the silence like a stone in a pond, rippling uncertainty. The disdainful glances from his affluent guests stung like paper cuts, their whispers slicing into her spirit. Just a dreamer, she could hear them say. Returning home, she collapsed onto her bed, the weight of rejection suffocating her. The images of faces filled with doubt etched into her mind. How could someone like her, a girl whose mom worked long hours just to make rent, believe she could bring change? What was she thinking? Desperation knotted in her stomach, competing with the flicker of determination that burned deep inside her. Days turned into weeks as Lily faced wall after wall in her quest for funding. Letters dashed off. Meetings attended. Each time, her hopes deflated like a balloon. Just when she thought she might give up, her phone rang. She blinked at the screen, disbelief flooding her. Mark. The man who listened, the millionaire who sparked hope. Hey, Lily, he said, his voice smooth and encouraging. I couldn't stop thinking about our talk. I want to know more. The shock sent her heart racing. Could this be it? But doubt lingered at the corner of her mind, whispering that she'd never break free from the binds of her reality. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As they started to plan, Mark shared his own struggles, revealing layers of compassion hidden beneath his world of wealth. The divide between them, once daunting, began to feel manageable. Their connection sparked a fire in her heart, a feeling of possibility. Yet, just as she thought the path began to clear, unforeseen challenges surfaced. Those scornful looks still haunted her. Could she shake off the societal chains that sought to bind her? As Lily stood at this crossroads, her determination tested, she wondered, would this be her moment to rise against the tide or remain a dreamer lost in the shadows? The clock was ticking, and change was just around the corner. When Lily hung up the phone, her heart danced. Mark's voice replayed in her mind, bringing a wave of warmth and urgency. For the first time in weeks, hope surged like a bright light breaking through a cloudy sky. What if this was the moment that changed everything? They agreed to meet at a local cafe, a cozy nook filled with people sipping on steaming cups. The rich scent of coffee filled the air as she arrived, twisting her fingers nervously. In the swirl of activity around her, her thoughts raced. Was she ready to present her vision? Could she convince him to back her dream? Moments later, Mark walked in. He was everything she remembered, charming and confident, but something about today felt different. Today, he was here to listen. They found a small table by the window, the sunlight pouring in and illuminating the vibrant colors of the cafe. Tell me about your vision, he encouraged, leaning forward, eager to listen. Lily opened her mouth, but the words hesitated in her throat. Her pulse quickened, and that hint of doubt crept back in. Pushing past the nerves, she launched into her idea, painting vivid images of the art program, the canvas splattered with joy, creativity bursting from every corner. She could see it now, kids laughing, parents beaming, a community coming alive through art. As she spoke, a spark ignited in Mark's gaze. He nodded along, asking questions that dug deeper, pushing her to elaborate. Before she knew it, she found herself describing not just the program, but her hope for the future, her desire to inspire others, not just those around her, but herself too. But as the excitement filled the air, the shadows crept back in, quietly reminding her of the storm she was standing in. What if it was all for nothing? I'm dreaming too big, she thought, almost drowning in the weight of reality. Mark must have sensed her shift. He straightened up, fixing his gaze on her. You know, every great journey starts with one step. Your ambition is what the world needs. It's powerful. His words were like balm on her worries, soothing the ache of doubt that had taken residence in her heart. Lily's voice quivered, filled with vulnerability. But what if I fail? What if they're right? What if I'm just a dreamer? I was once a dreamer too, he replied, his voice firm but gentle. I faced my own hurdles, but I learned that failure is just a lesson in disguise. Don't let others' perceptions cloud your ambitions. You have to own your dreams. Confidence washed over Lily like a wave crashing on the shore. In that moment, the shadows of doubt shattered. What can I do to help? Mark asked, leaning back as if to give her space, but a fire of determination flared up inside her. She began outlining her needs: funding, space, volunteers. Each request was met with understanding, an eagerness from Mark that reassured her. They spent hours hashing out details, and the cafe transformed into a war room of ideas, plans, and breakthroughs. As they worked, the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting warm hues of orange and pink. Walking out, Lily felt something she hadn't in a long time: faith. But as she stepped onto the sidewalk, a knot tightened in her stomach. Would her past haunt her? Would she face disapproval from those who thought she couldn't do it? The shadows still lurked, ready to pounce if she faltered. As Lily turned to Mark, doubts lingered. I won't let you down, she said earnestly. He gave her a reassuring smile, but as they parted ways, a thought lingered in her mind: what if the very community she aimed to uplift turned against her? And just like that, another hurdle appeared, one she had yet to face. The clock was ticking, and as she looked back one last time, Lily wondered, was she truly prepared for the challenges to come, or were they simply insurmountable walls waiting to crush her dreams? Lily took a deep breath, shaking off the weight of her doubts as she walked home. The streets were filled with the sounds of laughter and chatter: families picking up dinner, kids darting past on bikes, friends lingering over ice cream. To an outsider, it looked like happiness, but within her, a storm brewed. What if she stumbled? What if the art program she envisioned fell flat? The vibrant canvases she had imagined now felt like fragile paper, threatened by the gusts of every fear. Yet, with every step, she reminded herself of Mark's words. It's powerful. Yes, the dream was powerful, but confidence wasn't enough. It required action. That night, she sat on her bed, her laptop humming softly as she opened a blank document. Hours passed as she mapped out her proposal, her fingers flying over the keyboard, turning bubbling ideas into structured plans. A community art program that included not only kids but adults as well. A place for creativity, healing, and connection. As the words flowed, the shadows receded. The next morning, she sent her proposal out to several local businesses, community centers, and schools. She needed to reach everyone who might see potential in her vision. Each email felt daunting, the possibility of rejection loomed larger than life. But still, she pressed send, feeling a flicker of hope with each click. Days turned into weeks, with responses trickling in. Most were encouraging, but a few harsh critiques echoed in her mind, like glass shards. You're dreaming too big, one email read. Stick to what's realistic, another warned. Each comment cut deeper than she expected. Each time she opened her inbox, a wave of anxiety crashed over her. It became harder to stay positive. Yet, amidst the noise, there were glimmers of support. There were those who believed in her. One evening, as she scrolled through social media, a notification caught her eye. One of her local mentors, an established artist, had shared one of her emails with a comment, "Art changes lives, support Lily." That single gesture made Lily's heart swell. Encouraged, she reached out to her mentor, Maria, seeking advice. In no time, they met in a quaint little park, surrounded by blooming flowers and the sounds of children playing nearby. Maria was a firecracker of energy, her smile infectious and her passion for art undeniable. "Lily, the world is waiting for your program. You need a launch event, something vibrant and engaging to draw people in and make them see your vision," she suggested enthusiastically. As Maria spoke, Lily felt the embers of excitement begin to stir within her chest. A launch event? The thought was exhilarating, yet it edged back into the territory of her fears. What if no one shows up? She blurted out, feeling the familiar knot forming in her stomach. Then we make sure they do. Every person who hears about it and believes in it can help amplify your message. You have to think big, remember? Maria said, her eyes sparkling with determination. That night, amid the stars twinkling against the dark sky, Lily sat down and began to outline the event. A community art fair, with local artists, food trucks, and interactive booths for kids. It was ambitious, but she could see it so clearly, as if it were already happening. But then, a grim thought crept in, stealing her warmth. What if the community still rejected her idea? What if she poured her heart into this launch, and it was met with apathy? With a deep breath, she resolved to accept whatever came. All she could do was take that leap, one step at a time. She felt the weight of her past still lurking nearby, but she pushed on. As she prepared to send out invites, a message pinged on her phone. It was from Mark. "Excited for our next meeting? I have some ideas that will blow you away." Her heart raced at the thought of sharing her plans, but what if he didn't believe in her anymore? The urgency tightened around her. Was she truly ready for what came next? Lily thought, feeling the stakes rise like the tension of a taut string ready to snap. What awaited her in that next meeting? Would hope flourish or falter in the face of truth? Lily sat at her kitchen table, a knot of anxious energy swirling in her stomach. She had reread her launch plan a dozen times, checking every detail, from artist lineups to food truck permits. Yet still, the uncertainty loomed above her like a dark cloud. Her phone buzzed, snapping her out of her spiraling thoughts. It was Mark, confirming their meeting. As the sun dipped low, she gathered her courage and made her way to the little cafe they had agreed on. The scent of brewed coffee and freshly baked pastries welcomed her, but the warmth did little to ease her nerves. She found a corner table and took a seat, her heart racing. Thoughts raced as well. Was this meeting really going to change everything? Would Mark understand the heart behind her program? A few minutes later, he strolled in, a confident smile lighting up his face as he spotted her. "Lily. Great to see you," he said, taking a seat across from her. His presence was comforting, yet intimidating. Mark had built his empire from the ground up. What could someone like him possibly understand about her vision? "Hey, thanks for meeting with me," she managed to say, her voice slightly shaky. Mark leaned forward, his expression encouraging. "I've been diving into your proposal. You really have something amazing here. A community art fair? That's big. I love it." His enthusiasm sparked a glimmer of hope in Lily, yet doubt crept back in. But what if no one cares? What if it doesn't work out? She confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Let's flip that script," he replied, his eyes locking onto hers. "What if it does work? What if it changes lives?" You need to believe in the impact it can have. She felt a warmth in his words, but the tension didn't completely dissolve. But I'm scared, she admitted, vulnerability creeping in. What if all of this, what if I'm just setting myself up for disappointment? Mark's expression softened. Fear is a part of growth, Lily. But so is taking risks. It's what separates dreamers from doers. You've already taken the first step by creating the proposal. Now, set your sights higher. With each word, she felt the small flicker of confidence growing. And how do I do that? I don't have connections. I don't have money. Just an idea. You've got passion, he replied, and that's worth its weight in gold. I can connect you with some people who might be eager to support your vision. You just need to show them the spark you have. His eyes shone with belief as if the path ahead was already paved for her. That would be amazing, she breathed, relief washing over her. There was a chance that someone believed in her just as much as she hoped to believe in herself. But then another thought struck. And what if I fail? What if I can't pull it off? Then you try again, Mark said simply. The way he said it held all the weight of experience. Failure is just a step toward success. Lily took a deep breath, the weight of his words settling over her like a comforting blanket. They discussed ideas and plans, all the while the fear mixed with anticipation. Maybe this could truly work. Maybe people would gather. As they wrapped up their meeting, Mark stood up, pulling Lily into a supportive hug. I want you to think big. You have the power to inspire others. Remember that. Walking home, Lily felt different. The buzz of the city surrounded her, igniting her imagination. What could this event become? The laughter and chatter echoed in her ears, filling her with hope. But as she neared her street, her heart flipped. What if this new spark flickered away? What could she do next to nurture that flame? She stepped inside her house, heart racing as a new wave of determination surged through her. This was more than a dream. It was a chance. And she wouldn't back down now. As she picked up her phone to start making calls, a sudden knocking on the door interrupted her thoughts. Curiosity curled in her stomach. Who could it be? Was it possible that an opportunity stood waiting right at her doorstep? Lily's heart pounded as she approached the door, its wood cool against her palm. She hesitated for just a breath, summoning the courage to face whatever awaited her. Who could be knocking at this hour? An opportunity? A challenge she hadn't prepared for? Her mind whirled with possibilities, both thrilling and terrifying. With a steadying breath, she opened the door. Standing there, a tall man with tousled hair and a broad smile greeted her. The world seemed to still for a moment. It was Tom, an acquaintance from her past. They had briefly crossed paths at a local gallery opening last year. Lily, wow. It's been a while, he exclaimed, his eyes lighting up. I saw your banner for the community art fair. Can I come in? Sure. She stammered, stepping aside. Her mind raced, she hadn't anticipated a visit, especially not from him. Settling at her kitchen table, Tom leaned forward, intrigued. I've been following your project. I love what you're doing. It's so exciting to see someone put their passion into action. Her cheeks flushed. Thanks. I just had a meeting today that made me feel like I might really be able to pull it off. Absolutely. He said, enthusiasm bubbling over. The arts are more important than ever, and you're bringing something fresh to the community. There was a sincerity in his voice, and she found herself smiling back, the remnants of her earlier fears fading a little. But, she hesitated, her thoughts tangled. What do you know about organizing events like this? She needed to guide the conversation toward what she needed, cautiously optimistic. I've helped organize a few art shows in the past. It's all about getting the right people involved, Tom replied, a glint in his eye. I've got some contacts who might be interested in supporting you. They love grassroots projects. The weight of his words settled over her like an electric current. Could this be the help she desperately needed? Really? That would be incredible. She nodded, allowing excitement to flow through her. As they continued to talk, Tom shared his experiences, offering insights that resonated with her. She felt a connection deepening. It was more than just casual conversation, it was like he saw the intensity of her dreams and the struggle behind them. Actually, I was thinking of pitching an idea for a gallery space you could use for the launch, he suggested. A perfect vibe for your art fair. What? The unexpected offer hit her like a wave. One part of her was elated, but another flicker of doubt crept back in. Is that really possible? I wouldn't have suggested it if I didn't think it could work. His determination was palpable. Trust me, if anyone can make this happen, it's you, Lily. But you've got to let some help in. As they put together a rough plan, details unfolded like a blooming flower. Each moment simmered with possibility. Yet, just as she began to believe in the bright future, a sudden thought gnawed at her. What if she relied too much on others? What if it all crumbled at the last moment? The questions clung to her, heavy like weights on her heart. What if it doesn't work out? Lily blurted out, unable to contain her worries any longer. What if I'm not ready for this? Tom looked at her with a frankness that pierced through her anxieties. What if it does work out? What if this is your moment? His words pierced her fear, offering an anchor. Could this be the change she'd been yearning for? Could she actually believe in herself? The vulnerability hung in the air. In that moment, an awareness dawned on her, making her stand up and be seen meant pushing through all the doubts. Okay, she said slowly, the determination washing over her. Let us do this. As they exchanged ideas, she felt the flicker of hope igniting into a flame. But just as the plan began to solidify in her mind, Tom's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, his expression shifting. I need to take this, he said, stepping away. Lily watched him leave, the exhilaration mingling with anxiety. Would she really be able to take this leap of faith? As she stood in her kitchen, staring at the half-finished proposal sprawled across the table, a thrilling sensation coursed through her. Was this the turning point? But could she summon the courage to follow through, or would fear hold her back once more? As Tom stepped out, Lily felt the momentum that had just built start to wane. The air felt thick around her, the clamor of her thoughts growing louder. She could hear the faint ringing of his phone lingering in the silence. Wasn't this the moment she had been waiting for? A chance to take her dreams and make them real? She looked down at the proposal, pages trembling under an invisible weight. Ideas danced in her mind, swirling with possibilities but threatened by the heavy pull of doubt. Her fingers traced the outlines of her sketches. The colors she envisioned were vibrant and bold, yet all she could feel now was gray uncertainty. What if she screwed this up? What if she messed up everything because she wasn't ready? Doubts crowded her like shadows, awkwardly shifting and whispering their unsettling truths. Taking a deep breath, she walked over to the window. Outside, streetlights flickered like small stars in the darkening sky. Moments before, her heart had soared with hope, now, it sank. A soft rain began to fall, tapping gently against the glass, and with each drop, she felt her resolve waver. Yet, tucked away in the back of her mind was the memory of Tom's encouragement. Trust me, if anyone can make this happen, it's you. His voice echoed warmly, wrapping around her like a snug blanket. Perhaps she could take that leap. She could pivot from doubt into action. Shaking her head, she turned back to her table and grabbed a notepad. She let the ink flow onto the paper, ideas rushing out of her like water from a broken dam. She was no longer just dreaming, she was writing down plans. Names of people Tom had mentioned swam in her mind. Local artists, community groups, even a few small businesses she frequented. Her heart rate quickened. This was exciting. She could connect with them, build a coalition of support. The vibrant art fair she envisioned no longer felt like a solitary dream but a collective journey. Something beyond herself. The sound of a voice pulled her from her flow. Tom returned, a curious look on his face. "You all right?" "Yeah, I'm just," she paused, catching the spark of enthusiasm in her voice. "I'm getting everything down. I think we can really bring this art fair to life." "Awesome." He grinned, leaning against the doorframe. "Looks like you found your stride." Feeling a rush of giddy relief, she nodded. "I can't lose sight of this, not again." Tom stepped closer, glancing over her notes. She caught his admiration, and her heart fluttered just slightly. "You've got the vision, Lily. Now we just need to execute it. And I'll be right beside you." In that moment, something shifted in her core. She realized that this was more than just about the art fair. It was about her willingness to embrace help, to step into the light and own her space. But just as clarity began to envelop her, the wind howled, rattling the windows. Outside, the rain picked up, clouds growing dark, reflecting her internal storm. What if things don't go as planned? She finally voiced, the fear creeping back. Tom's look grew serious. "That's a possibility. But what if it works? What if this opens doors for you? What if this is just the beginning?" His eyes held hers, and for a heartbeat, time suspended around them. She understood then, every step into the unknown was a risk, but there was also a chance for something beautiful to unfold. As the rain drummed against the roof, she found herself on the cusp of a decision, poised between safety and a new beginning. "Okay," she breathed, "let's figure this out together." But a sudden shiver ran through her. What if she wasn't just risking her dreams, but her heart in this partnership with Tom? "Just promise me one thing," she said, her voice steady despite the turbulence. "No matter what happens, we keep this transparent." He raised an eyebrow, a smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. "Are you worried I might steal your spotlight?" "Something like that." The corners of his lips twitched. "Let's be honest here, Lily. I think your light is too bright to be overshadowed by anyone." She felt warmth spread through her. The moment settled quietly, but inside, she sensed the urgency of change. They were teetering on the edge of something vast and terrifying. As they dove into further discussions, but all at once, the doorbell rang again, shattering their focus. Who could that be? She wondered, uncertainty prickling her skin again. Lily turned to Tom, her heart quickening once more. He met her gaze. Maybe another opportunity? With tentative steps, she moved toward the door, knowing with each beat of her heart that whatever happened next could change everything. Would the next visitor bring a chance to shine brighter or a shadow of doubt lurking just behind? As she opened the door, Lily felt a rush of anticipation mixed with dread. The rain outside created a backdrop of shimmering reflections, yet the threshold she stood on felt heavier than ever. Her heartbeat drummed in her ears as she swung the door wide. There, drenched from the downpour, stood a woman with an air of energy and confidence that was unmistakable. She was stunning, long, dark hair framing a face that radiated determination. "Lily?" the woman asked, her voice a melodic blend of authority and warmth. "Yeah." Lily managed, still absorbing the unexpected entrance. "I'm Mia Chen, and I've heard a lot about you." Tom stepped forward, eyebrows raised. "Mia Chen? The CEO of Chen Innovations?" The woman flashed a brilliant smile, eyes sparkling with possibility. "The same. I came across your art fair proposal, and it caught my interest." Lily's mind raced. Was this a dream? "You've seen my proposal?" She could hardly believe her ears. "Absolutely. I love the idea of bringing art to the community. especially one that highlights local talent. Mia moved further inside, shaking off droplets as she shed the rain. "I'd like to help you." The room felt charged, as if an electric current had been introduced. Tom stood beside Lily, words failing him. "What do you mean?" Lily pressed, trying to keep her composure. "I want to sponsor the event." The words hung in the air, a monumental shift that sent tremors through Lily's core. "Sponsor? You mean, like funding?" Mia nodded. "Yes. I believe creative spaces can change communities for the better. And you've got something special, Lily. I want to be part of it." Lily's heart raced. Sponsorship could mean everything: resources, promotion, and a way to build her vision. But the thought of accepting help from someone so influential set off alarm bells in her mind. "But, why me? There are so many artists out there." Mia laughed lightly, her confidence unshaken. "Because you have a passion that shines. It translates on paper, and in the way you talk about this project. I don't invest in ideas, I invest in people." Tom's astonishment became tangible as he whispered, "This is huge, Lily." Huge. Still, doubts crept in. Heightened by the weight of the moment, she hesitated. What would accepting this help mean for her autonomy? "And what do you want in return?" "Just a partnership." Mia's smile softened. "I want a presence at the fair and the chance to contribute to a few workshops. My team can help streamline the process, get local businesses involved, and turn this vision into reality." Lily glanced at Tom, who nodded encouragingly. "It sounds incredible. But..." She interjected, the words spilling out before she could stop them, "What if I can't deliver? What if this all falls apart?" Mia stepped forward, sincerity etched on her face. "That's the risk we all take, isn't it? But imagine what could happen if you don't try. All those dreams you sketched out could become a reality." Lily's breath caught. Could she truly let this opportunity in? The fear of failure battled against the thrill of possibility deep inside her. All the years of pushing her dreams aside flooded back, each one weighted by fear. "Take the leap, Lily," Tom urged softly, his gaze steady and unwavering. Before she could answer, another roll of thunder cracked outside, shaking the walls gently, a reminder of the storm brewing. Still vulnerable to the unknown, she drew in a shaky breath. "I need to think this over." "Of course," Mia replied, her energy unwavering. "But don't take too long. Opportunities like this don't last forever." As the door closed behind Mia, Lily stood frozen, the weight of her decision heavy in the air. Could she really embrace this moment, despite the uncertainty that loomed? She felt the crackle of potential surrounding her, pushing her toward a brink. Finally, she turned to Tom, her eyes determined. "Do you think I can do this?" Tom smiled, a mixture of pride and excitement. "I know you can. But the real question is, are you ready to take that leap?" Outside, the rain began to ease, as if mimicking the tension in her heart, but she felt a surge of energy flowing ever stronger. Maybe it was time to step into the storm and discover who she really was meant to be. As she looked at Tom, determination swirling inside, she realized that this was no longer just about the art fair. It was about a new chapter, a transformation she couldn't ignore. But before she could fully grasp her next steps, the doorbell rang once more. Lily's heart skipped, a flicker of anxiety striking her again. "What now?" Tom glanced at her, eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Maybe more opportunities?" With a nod and a racing pulse, Lily turned toward the door. Ahead, something awaited that could either solidify her path or challenge it further. Would she be ready for whichever came next? Lily took a deep breath, pushing away the flurry of emotions crashing inside her. What if this next visitor was a sign? Or worse, yet another complication? Cautiously, she opened the door, and her breath caught in her throat. There stood a young man, his damp hair clinging to his forehead and his clothes sticking uncomfortably to him. His eyes, a striking shade of green, were framed by lashes that seemed perpetually surprised. "Hi, I'm Jake. I'm looking for Lily." His voice was warm and inviting, pulling her in despite the chaotic storm of thoughts racing through her mind. "That's me," she replied, a nervousness creeping back in. "What can I do for you?" "Actually, it's what I can do for you." He stepped inside without waiting for an invitation, a grin spreading across his face. "I heard about your art fair and wanted to share some ideas. I think I could help." Tom raised an eyebrow, shifting to lean against the wall. The earlier excitement was replaced with cautious curiosity. "How did you hear about it?" Jake laughed, brushing rain off his shoulders. "Through a friend of a friend. But honestly, it wasn't just that. I saw your proposal online, and it struck a chord with me. Art has a way of bringing people together." "Really?" Lily squinted, not yet ready to dive into the unknown waters this young stranger was offering. It all felt overwhelming, the thrill of Mia's proposal still fresh in her mind. "What kind of help are you offering?" "I'm a digital marketer," Jake said, his enthusiasm lighting up the room. "I can help you create a buzz online, reach a wider audience, and get people excited about what you're offering. You need community involvement, and I know how to get the word out." Lily glanced at Tom, who seemed intrigued by this new prospect. The idea of pulling everything together with a digital presence was appealing. Yet, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was stepping into a whirlwind of uncertainty. "But I don't have a budget for that," she realized aloud. Jake shrugged, a hint of mischief in his eyes. "We can start small. I'm sure some local businesses would love to collaborate or sponsor in exchange for visibility. You know, it's a mutually beneficial arrangement." The crafting of new ideas and the thought of sparking conversations excited Lily. Yet somewhere deep inside, the fear still lingered. "Can I trust you?" "Why not?" Jake took a small step closer, his demeanor sincere. "You don't know me, but I believe in what you're trying to do. If we can work together, think of the possibilities for a moment." Lily felt a surge of hope. The idea of promising both Mia's resources and Jake's marketing abilities created a wave of possibilities in her mind. But then doubt seeped back in, wrapping around her confidence like a fog. I don't know if I can handle all this pressure." Tom stepped forward, his voice steady. "It's okay to feel overwhelmed. But think about what you want to achieve, Lily. Maybe you don't have to do this alone." Jake nodded in agreement. "Exactly. It's not just about you. It's about community. You're not just an artist, you're becoming a leader. With the right support, you can make this happen." Lily's heart swelled, but it was mixed with fear. Could she truly rise to this challenge? "Okay," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "If I were to consider your help, how would we even start?" "Let's brainstorm," Jake suggested, his smile broader than before. "We can come up with ideas, social media content, whatever it takes to ramp up interest and engage potential sponsors. I can show you how to turn all this into something tangible." As they began discussing details, ideas bouncing back and forth like vivid brush strokes across a canvas, Lily felt a flicker of something new igniting inside her. She realized that maybe, just maybe, she could allow these unexpected connections to develop into something meaningful. But just as she felt the wall of doubt starting to lift, her phone pinged with a new message, an unexpected notification that pulled her focus back to reality. "Hang on," she said, glancing down at the screen. Her heart raced as she read the message from Mia, asking for confirmation of a follow-up meeting. With new paths opening before her, memories of past failures resurfaced. Was this ask from Mia setting her up for triumph, or was it another test of her resolve? Lily met Jake's hopeful eyes and Tom's steady presence beside her. She felt the gears in her mind turning, each twist and churn overwhelming her with anticipation. How far was she willing to go? Would she seize the opportunity presented to her or let fear dictate her choices? Her heartbeat echoed in her ears, reminding her of the storm that lay ahead both outside and within her. And as the rain began to pour heavily again, drowning out her thoughts, she was left wondering one thing: was this the moment that could truly change everything? Lily's heart pounded in her chest as she stood frozen, the phone clutched tightly in her hand. The message from Mia glared back at her, words echoing in her mind like a countdown. She lifted her gaze, meeting Jake's expectant stare. His warmth contrasted sharply with the electric tension swirling inside her. "Do you need to take that?" Jake asked gently. "No," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. "I'm okay." But was she? Tom shifted beside her, his posture relaxed yet alert, a steady anchor in this unpredictable moment. "Think about what you want to say to Mia, Lily. This is your chance to take control of everything." A million thoughts clashed for dominance, battling in her mind. This was her moment. But what if it crumbled like so many attempts before? What if saying yes to Mia led to more stress, more pressure? "Okay," she said, forcing out the anxiety tangled in her chest. "Let us map this out. I want to get this right." An unexpected resolve began to build within her. Jake grinned as they huddled closer around a small table. He opened a notebook and started jotting down ideas, his pen dancing across the pages with a mix of spontaneity and focus. "First off, let us create a clear vision for the art fair. What do you want people to feel when they walk in? What atmosphere do you want to create? What about a community vibe?" Lily suggested. "Something inviting where local artists showcase their work, maybe with live music, pop-up food stalls." "Absolutely," Jake replied, his eyes shining with excitement. "We can highlight the artist's stories, make each piece personal to draw people in." As they brainstormed, the weight of her fear began to lift, replaced by a creative energy that buzzed through her veins. Tom listened intently, occasionally chiming in with his own ideas, blending the practical with the imaginative. "I'll reach out to some businesses," Jake added. "They might want to sponsor your fair. Let me handle the messages, I have a few in mind." Lily's heart fluttered at the thought. Each suggestion felt like a step forward. But shadows lurked in the corners of her confidence. "But what if they turn me down? Or if the event doesn't go as planned?" "Then you learn," Jake replied, his tone unyielding. "Every setback is a lesson. Just imagine what could happen if it all works out. You could be making a real impact for artists in the community." Tom nodded. "You're not just planning an event. You're building a network. A community of support." The word settled over Lily like a comforting blanket, yet a creeping doubt remained. She wanted this more than she could express. "What if I fail? What if it's just worse than before?" Jake leaned closer, sincerity etched on his face. "What if you thrive? What if this becomes a turning point in your life? You'll never know unless you take that step." With each word, a spark ignited inside her, each flicker warming her spirit. Could she really do this? Could she let go of her fears and grasp this chance? The rain continued to patter against the windows, the sound steady and calming amidst the storm inside her. Then, with a deep breath, she made her choice. "Okay," she said, a newfound firmness in her voice. "I need to confirm that meeting with Mia. Can you help me, Jake? I think I want to go through with this." Jake's smile was electric, flooding the room with possibilities. "Absolutely. Let us draft your response together. You're ready, Lily." As she typed, a sense of purpose unfurled within her. But momentarily, another message flashed across her screen, this one from an unknown number. Lily frowned, her heartbeat quickening once more. Who could that be? She murmured, her curiosity piqued. She clicked it open, eyes widening as she read the words. A sense of foreboding washed over her. What had she just opened the door to? It was a question she couldn't yet answer, and as she looked up at Jake and Tom, she felt the ground shift beneath her. What awaited her on this chaotic path she'd chosen? With uncertainty hanging in the air, the storm she had embraced felt paler compared to what was brewing just beyond the horizon. The following day dawned, tendrils of sunlight filtering through clouds, a quiet reminder that even the darkest storms must give way to dawn. Lily awoke with a strange mix of excitement and nerves. She stared at the ceiling, pondering her life's new course. The message she had received the previous evening remained a blur, a nagging echo she couldn't shake. Today was the big day, meeting Mia Chen. As she dressed, Lily couldn't help but smile, anticipation bubbling within her like freshly opened soda. This was it. The chance to lift her art fair from dream to reality. She rummaged through her notes, rehearsing key points she needed to discuss with Mia. Outside, the community stirred, familiar sounds filling the air. Kids whooshed by on bikes, and neighbors exchanged friendly banter. Lily felt part of this vibrant world, yet simultaneously, she stood on the precipice of something monumental. It wasn't just an art fair, it felt like the launch of her new identity. Tom met her at the cafe, his smile widening as he saw her. "You ready for this?" he asked, an encouraging glimmer in his eyes. "I think so," she replied, gripping her notes tightly. "I just want it to go well." "It will," he assured her. "You've got the passion. Don't forget that." They arrived early, the cafe bustling with chatter and clinking cups. Moments later, Mia walked in, confident yet approachable, her aura lighting up the room. "Lily. Great to see you," she greeted warmly. "Hi, Mia." Lily responded, a tinge of nervousness creeping in. After getting settled, Mia leaned forward, ready to dive into the conversation. "I loved your proposal. I feel like we can create something special together." Lily inhaled deeply, summoning her courage. "I want to make this fair a reflection of our community, not just a showcase for artwork. It's about connection, creativity, and inspiration." Mia nodded thoughtfully, taking her statement in. "That's exactly right. We need to curate experiences that resonate with people. Let us explore how to integrate workshops and interactive elements." As they discussed ideas, Lily felt her confidence bloom. Each suggestion from Mia was infused with wisdom and enthusiasm. It felt right, they were partners in a shared vision, each stroke of their conversation painting bright possibilities. But just as inspiration soared, there was a flicker of doubt. The message from last night nagged in the back of her mind. When would she find the courage to confront it? With laughter and back-and-forth ideas flowing, time flew. The cafe came alive with laughter, forming the perfect backdrop for their collaboration. "Lily, I can help with sponsorships, outreach, and anything else you need," Mia promised, "but we need to ensure the message gets out there. The community has to feel your passion." "Yes," Lily responded, her spirit ignited. "Every artist, every story, this is bigger than just me." As they wrapped up the meeting, Lily's heart soared. They exchanged contact information and agreed to follow up on planning. As the cafe emptied, reality struck her. Would all of this come crashing down? She felt the weight of her fears creeping back in. Just then, another message pinged on her phone. It was the same unknown number. Gathering her resolve, she opened it, bracing for whatever news might come. "Hey, I saw the buzz about the art fair and think it's a bad idea. You don't know what you're doing." Her heart sank. Was this someone trying to sabotage her? A tear threatened to spill, but she quickly wiped it away. The shadows of doubt lingered, but she wouldn't let this derail her. "Lily? Are you okay?" Tom's voice pulled her from her thoughts, concern etching his brow. "Yeah, just she hesitated, forcing a smile. "Some noise. Nothing to worry about. We're on track for something amazing." "You got this," he said, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Lily imbued that support with fresh resolve. The opportunity with Mia outshone the negativity from the unknown message. "Let us keep pushing forward," she declared. Days turned into weeks filled with preparation, ideas blossoming, and community meetings buzzing with energy. With each step, she felt stronger, building a network that was more than an art fair, it was a tapestry of dreams. Finally, the day of the community art fair arrived. A crisp breeze wafted through the air, and the sun emerged, bathing everything in golden light. The fair was a kaleidoscope of colors. Images danced across vibrant canvases, music filled hearts, and laughter mingled with chatter. Lily stood just outside the entrance, a smile spreading across her face as she watched families arrive, her heart swelling with gratitude. Mark joined her, beaming with pride. "You did it. This is amazing." As she turned to him, she realized that she had transformed no longer just a dreamer, but a doer. "Thank you," she replied sincerely. "I was afraid of failing, of what others would think." He shook his head. "You're not just inspiring. You're leading. That's even more important." Amid the crowd of supportive faces, her fears fluttered away like autumn leaves. These were her people, her community, standing by her side. For the first time, she felt a rush of certainty. This was more than she'd ever imagined. Then came the moment that shook her world. Jake approached, excitement bubbling over. "Lily. Look at how many people have signed up for the art workshops. They want to be a part of this." Again, laughter and joy enveloped her. "This is incredible." As the day unfolded, she found herself surrounded by children creating art, families smiling, and artists sharing stories. Every fear of doubt melted into the air, replaced with the vibrant pulse of community, love, and growth. Lily realized that it was not just an art fair, it was a celebration of resilience, creativity, and togetherness, a testament to how far she had come. And as twilight settled in, casting its enchanted glow, she allowed the joy of the moment to wash over her, her heart full, her spirit soaring. She was finally home, knowing that with each canvas, each voice, she had found her place in the world. No longer just a girl on the sidelines, she was the heartbeat of her community, living proof that dreams could indeed come true. It was time to embrace everything she had fought for and share her story with the world, because this was just the beginning. And this, dear viewers, is also the moment to celebrate your dreams. You need to subscribe now and not miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire your journey. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and comment below how this transformation struck a chord in your own life. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to be reminded that anything is possible if you dare to chase your dreams. Don't wait not even one more second, take action now.